What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Have a little bit different video for you today. It's more of an update and letting you know why I haven't been making videos. And you read the title of this video. That is not a joke. We are actually in a bit of a roller coaster ride in a real estate deal right now. So let me just get right into it. I'll make a long story short, and I'm gonna have Ashley here to kind of give her opinion, and she's more involved with it than me too, and as far as the real estate stuff that's going on. So she's been there, you know, talking to the realtors, signing papers and all of that good stuff. So she knows a lot more about it than me. But basically, we live at this house currently that we're making this video and that I've made a ton of videos at. And we've been here for about 3 years, and we knew that eventually we would want to move. So we're constantly looking at real estate apps and seeing what's coming up. We found a house finally that we both agree on, that we both really like. It's a great location, it's a great house, and it's what we want as a couple, and I think it's going to be good for our family. So we went over there with our realtor and we saw the house. You know, we slept on it, and then the next day we put an offer in on it, and we went up, did a little bit of negotiating. We may get into that. I'm not really sure if we'll get into that in this video, but they accepted our offer eventually. Eventually. So we had to make some changes to our offer, and it was a contingent offer, which, if you don't know what that means, us buying that house is contingent on the fact of us selling this house. So we had to get our house ready to go to the market, and I had to tie up a bunch of loose ends, that stuff I would eventually get to. Finally had to get it done now. And we had to just really clean the house up and move stuff to the garage and get ready to move, essentially. So we were going through that whole process, and our realtor put our house on the market, and it went out on a Friday. And then what happened after that? I want to get you to talk a little bit too, because I feel like I'm just rambling on.
So we got our house on the market and got it all show ready. We had an open house, and we're able to go under a multi-offer. What is it called?
It's multiple offers.
Yeah. We were able to go under multiple offer, and we accepted an offer, and we're very excited to really just get into the next house. You know, first we had to sell this one. So that's what our goal was, is selling this just to get to there. So we went under contract. These people were able to close in 3 weeks or less.
Which is
so
crazy.
We were like excited because we were told, being under contingency, they could accept another offer and just give us a 3-day notice, which to us was like, I hope that doesn't happen. But we got into this, and I mean, 2 weeks later, we were already getting ready to close. The people that we were working with on buying the new house decided that they didn't want to sell it anymore.
Yep, they essentially did.
Stopped signing paperwork, didn't allow appraisals to come into their home, which is part of the process. Without an appraisal, we cannot close. So they literally told our realtor, we want out. And we're like, what do you mean you want out? You want out. We're sold our house to move into your house. What are we going to do now?
And that's exactly right. And our realtor said they are probably having seller's remorse, which I can relate to buyer's remorse because I have that quite a bit. My biggest buyer's remorse, actually I don't have it quite a bit, but I've gotten a lot better. My biggest buyer's remorse was when I bought a brand new 2013 Honda Pilot back in the day, and the next morning I woke up and I called them and asked what the return policy was, and they did not have a return policy. They said you're gonna have to sell it or something. So I was like, oh yeah, this is serious. So when you sell your house and you go into a binding legal contract with someone, you have to adhere to that contract. So like she just said, they had a change of heart and they didn't want to move forward anymore, but we're already locked into a contract, and we sold our house to buy your house. Our realtor was telling their realtor, like, these people have 5 kids. These people have 5 kids. You're putting them on the street because of what you've just done. And she's, you know, with the realtors, you don't ever get to really, you're just like hearing it from your realtor. You never really hear from the people or their realtor at all, at least in this situation. And I understand why they have it set up that way. But anyways, yeah, we had nowhere to go, and we were like, what are we going to do? You know, it's a really serious thing to breach your contract, because you might be thinking right now, well, if they're not going to sell you their house, just don't sell your house to these new people. But it's really serious if you breach that contract. We were looking it up. You could actually lose everything.
I was gonna say, we looked into that because we didn't want to be homeless. I started looking at Airbnbs, looking at rentals, and trying to figure out where we were going to next. And it's just been up and down, because one day the realtor calls me and is like, everything's moving forward, we'll get you a closing date. And then the next day, like I said, it's like, they're not gonna let the appraiser come into their house.
It is a roller coaster.
So then they finally let the appraiser, though, come into their house. But then they had to sign another document. They refused to sign the document. So we were just like, what is the deal? We sent them flowers. I sent them chocolate. We wrote them a love letter. We tried to do everything we can and just get these people to sell us their home at what they were asking for as well, too. It was on the market 3 days. We gave them asking price. So we weren't trying to, like, you know,
we did
take advantage of them or anything.
Mm-hmm. We even signed other things, and we even, like in the beginning when I was saying the negotiating part of it, we kind of bent over backwards for them, because when we were doing our house hunt, one of the things Ashley wanted was either it would have a pool already, or was there enough space for a pool. And the lot on this house that we're trying to get, it's kind of a weird situation the way they put the house, and there's really one place you can put a pool because of building line codes or something like that. We looked at a survey. But anyways, we said in our exclusion part of our contract, I think is what it's called, don't quote me on that, but it was like, if our realtor wrote it up like this: if the clients cannot have a pool there, they will back out. If they decide to back out, they can get out. And we were like trying to get a pool company over there to look at it, to see if we could, just to look at utilities and whatever, like drainage that would be there. And they were like, no, take that out of your offer. We don't want a reason for you to get out. So, which I understand, it is a seller's market. They could just be like, we'll just get an offer from someone who doesn't want a pool so we can get this show on the road. But I'm just saying that to say, like, we've been over backwards for them on a lot of things, and we really haven't asked them for anything. Like she said, we sent them flowers and stuff, and we're not trying to like attack them. I'm not going to tell you the address or the location or their names. They're nice people as far as we know. They just had a change of heart, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I guess. I didn't know that was something you could do after somebody goes under contract, but
you really can't. So what our next step would be legally would be to pursue them with a lawsuit, and we really don't want to do that, just because it's just money, it's time, which is really valuable. Our kids go to school, and we have some kids that are homeschooled, and it's just, we've got our lives to live, and we don't want to go down that road of putting. I've never been in a lawsuit, thank God. I've never had to like sue someone or be sued, so I don't want to start now. I'd like to go my whole life without a lawsuit. I think that would be a pretty good accomplishment. But if we have to go that way, we're gonna have to, because you signed a contract. And I would expect, like if I told the guy who's buying this house that we're in right now, our house, like, oh, I changed my mind. He's just made plans. He's put down money, earnest money. He's got his life. He's trying to plan it out just like we are. And you throw a wrench into those gears, you kind of should be sued, because selling your house is not something that you can just like take lightly. If you want to sell the house, you're getting into legal contracts and stuff, and you got to fulfill your end of it. And if they don't, that's what we're going to have to do. But as far as right now, on the roller coaster that it's looking pretty good, like as of today. But like for the past 2 weeks, we've had conversations with our realtor. I'm like, hey, should we look for a rental house? She's like, that's probably not a bad idea. I'm like, oh, are you serious? And just not knowing is the worst part. Just not knowing, like, what do we need to do? Do we need to move on? Do we need to look for another house? And we don't really want to look for another house to buy, because buying a house isn't something like you see on HGTV where here's these two houses. Oh, we went with house A. Okay, let's start tearing it apart. And like, it's a longer, at least for us with the family, we want to put roots down and like have a home for our family. We're not just going to settle on something just because we're in this situation. What we would probably do is get a rent house and just break the contract on that whenever we are ready to buy. So, but as far as the contingency part of it, it went really smooth on our end. Like, I don't think it could have gone better. We put our house on the market on Friday, multiple offers Saturday, and accepted offers Sunday. So we fulfilled everything on our end, and they changed their mind a lot. So that's what I've been up to. We have been working, John and I, and we've been doing jobs, and we've got some really cool jobs coming up. Some of them I'm going to be recording at, some of them I'm not, just because everything that's going on right now. The garage that I usually make videos in is basically full of furniture and boxes, and all the tools are on one side, and we're just like getting ready to move to wherever we're moving to, which we don't know yet. And the bad part about it is too, all these things that happen, you pay for them. So like, you pay for the appraisals, you pay for the surveys, you pay for the inspections out of the buyer's pocket. And it's just like, if we can't do it, it's just all a big waste. And we're not like, it's not like we have money to just throw away. And there was even a point too in the whole thing where, you know, as a buyer, as us, we put earnest money down telling the seller that we're serious. And there was even a point where our realtor was like, they might be trying to keep your earnest money because they're drawing it out. Like, because in the contract it says if X, Y, and Z isn't executed by this date, then earnest money will be sent to seller and buyer will forfeit. Like, this contract is crazy, and I don't even understand it. We were reading it, and it's like, oh, that benefits us. And then we'll read another section like, wait, that benefits them. It's really confusing. I don't know. It's just a really weird situation. I would say it's like a real estate nightmare.
At one point, I told our realtor, like, what are we supposed to do? And she said, I don't know. I've never been in a situation like this. And I just thought, what? Like, you've been a realtor for like many years, like a decade. Really?
Yeah, and I never even considered that this could happen, but here we are, and it's happening. So I guess if you don't see me for another couple of weeks, just know that I'm dealing with this. I like to be consistent with the YouTube, but it has really been like the last thing on my mind because of everything that's going on. And yeah, it's not really enjoyable to make videos when you don't know if your family's gonna have a place to stay. So anyways, that's kind of what we're up to, unfortunately. But if this goes through, if this happens, right, it's gonna be really good for the channel. Like, really good, wouldn't you say?
Yes, he's going to have a lot more projects to do. Wherever we end up, whether it's this house or another house that we purchase, there's definitely going to be a lot of remodeling being done. So,
A lot.
And I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
He said I can choose whatever I want. So.
Yeah, and that's true too. She chose the pink cabinets, if you remember, from a few videos back. And all of you were saying, not all of you, but a lot of people were saying, don't paint them pink, you know, you're not going to be able to sell your house. Multiple offers. So there you go. No, they're not like hot pink. If you saw the video, you know they're like a blush pink.
Maybe we will get to show you this house before we go. One
Yeah.
last video to show you everything he has done in this past 3 years.
That would be cool. That would be a nice send off to this house. So
yeah,
we'll see. I think that'll be a really cool video. But I just hope we get this house because it's going to mean a lot going forward with the YouTube channel. And if we don't, then maybe I'll start making videos about finding rental properties and fixing up what you can with the rental, because that might be what we're doing. No, I don't know. We'll figure something out. Our problems, we were talking about this big problem to us. I mean, it's in the big scope of everything that's going on in lives right now with like people just like that hurricane that came through. It's like, come on, you really put it in perspective. You guys are fine. But I wanted to let you know because what's where the videos at? You know, where's the channel? What's going on with the channel? That's what's been going on. So I'll just end it here. Thanks guys for your patience, and hopefully we'll be back at it with consistent uploads here in the near future. So we'll see you on the next one.